Aloha everyone, what's going on my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. For this video, we're going to talk about some upcoming changes to the Archaeology skill that was revealed in the latest live stream. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video, let's go.
Cats is the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, before we get into that, I do want to mention that the Inquisitor staff did get a buff with yesterday's updates. At the time I made the video, it wasn't in the patch notes, but it is now. So basically, it wasn't giving the proper damage benefits to certain types of attacks. And this has now been fixed, so you should see the Inquisitor staff doing a lot more damage and being more in line with what it was intended to do. So once again, that's already in game. Moving on, most of the things we're going to be talking about will be coming next week, but they're not all guaranteed to come next week. They're just some things that are being worked on at the time. So, starting off, they want to make an activate or deactivate option for your auto screener. So if for whatever reason you want to deactivate it on the fly, you can do so. They also are making it so you can put your Pontifex Signet ring and Legitimus pendant to your tool belt, which is great because I personally have given away my ring to a collection on accident, and this could have been completely avoided if you added the tool belt. In a similar vein, they do not plan on adding the auto screener to the tool belt, so just keep that in mind. I know some people wanted that, but it doesn't look like that's something they want to do. Next up, they want to add a option to view the contents of your material storage through the Archaeology journal. In a similar vein, the material storage itself, they want to have a configure option so that you can make the left click deposit all your materials as opposed to opening the material storage as it currently works. And still speaking of materials and material storage, they want to allow the Imp Soul perk to send your resources to the material bank. And I believe they want to make this work with the metal bank as well if you're using Imp Soul when you're mining ore. But that particular one might not be as high as a priority. Moving on to something that people are probably most concerned with, and that is material caches. There are a couple of changes that they do want to make to them. For example, they want to add at least 2 sites, or 2 nodes as they're calling them, for each location that you find at a dig site, like at one of the 5 major dig sites. However, any of the ones that are outside in the game world, not part of a dig site, those will have 3 to 4 nodes to get any one given material from, which is great. There are already a couple of deposits that have 3 to 4 nodes, but there's a lot of them that have only 2, and those are some of the most annoying to collect. Next up, they're planning to add a interface that you can access with one of the Tetris compass pieces in your inventory, which will basically allow you to inspect it and see what is needed to restore. So you don't actually have to be at an archaeology workbench. You could just do it on the fly if you have one of those Tetra compass pieces in your inventory. Next up, they want to add some options to the interface settings. For example, a toggle for duplicate Imcamdo pieces, turning on and off displaying the hit splat for precision, and a toggle for the museum warning. Moving on, currently the fortune perk does not have the added benefit when it's level 20, and that is something they plan to rectify. And the last thing I want to touch on is they want to allow the Everlight music to be accessible before 105 Archaeology. Reason being is once you hit 99, there is a grace period to 120, so you would theoretically be able to wear your comp cape if you reach 99 Archaeology. However, you cannot because there is a music that is only unlocked at 105 Archaeology. So the reason why they don't want to add a grace period simply to the music track or the Music Maestro achievements is because they plan on adding much more music tracks in the future with future content before the current Archaeology grace period would be up. And they want to encourage people to actually go and unlock those music tracks. Anyways, that's pretty much it, but before I leave out, I do want to mention that the Ripper Demon Familiar is going to be getting a nerf. Right now, it is heavily outweighing or outperforming every single other familiar, and it's actually doing insane amount of DPS for a familiar. So that is going to get a nerf, not with next week's update, because they're still deciding exactly how they want to nerf it. So at some point it is going to get a nerf, but that is not set in stone in terms of when that's going to come or how, in what fashion or form it's going to take. So when we hear more information, I will let you guys know here on the channel. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Aloha.